This video wants me to get demonetized. How many times am I gonna have to retry this? This video is gonna take me forever to get out. I was so confident this was a good idea. I just wanted some Dobon Honkaros. I was promised Dobon Honkaros. So I've got this new anime plot. Basically, there's this girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean, some serious honkers. A real set of badonkers. Packing some Dobon Honkaros. Massive Dahunka Bankaloos. Big old Tonhongera Cougars. Sounds pretty good, right? I mean, right? I'm sure you guys have seen that copy pasta pop back up a lot recently, typically accompanied by pictures of Uzaki-chan. Because let's be honest, that's kind of the plot of that anime. Not that I'm complaining. But that got me thinking, what if this was the plot of an anime? What if we decided to let someone just take that and nothing else and run with it and see what happens? Luckily, we live in the future, and so I don't actually have to have a human do this for me, nor do I have to do it myself. So today I'm going to be leveraging the power of AI Dungeon in order to write that anime for us. If you haven't seen any of my videos on the subject before, essentially AI Dungeon is a free game that allows you to input whatever kind of prompt you want, and it will generate a text-based story that you can play in. Now typically when I do these kinds of videos, I do play the game, I enter my own commands, but that's not the goal today. The goal today is to get the AI to write this anime itself. So all I'm gonna do is sit there and hit enter and let it keep generating lines. Now for sure, I'll type something in if it gets stuck, because that does happen sometimes. AI isn't perfect yet, we're working on it. But given the results that I've gotten when I've done this in the past, I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out. So let's switch over to the other camera here and we'll get started. And from there, everything went horribly, horribly wrong. What followed was nearly 2.5 hours of almost entirely unusable footage, as AI Dungeon derailed completely and tried with every fiber of its being to get me demonetized. It took me nearly 6 months to get around to sifting through it, and what you're about to see is the result of that soul-rending effort. This is the unholy Frankenstein that I cobbled together from the few barely usable segments of a video that did not want to be made. I'm sorry. So we're gonna go ahead and enter our custom prompt here, and I'll start by reading out that prompt again. Basically, there's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean some serious honkers. A real set of honkers. Packing some Dobon Honkaros. Massive Dahunka Bankaloos. Big old Tonhongera Cougars. And the biggest Dahunka Hunkla Coos in all of goodness. So you guys are like, hey, we should come over to her house. Well, why don't we just knock on her door, you say? So I want to know why we're knocking on her door, other than because she's got big old Tonhongakaroos. You knock on the door, and it opens to reveal a ginger. Hey, do you guys need some firewood? He asks. I'm gonna restart this, probably this one's shit. Big ol' Tonhongera Cougars. So you decide to go see her, but first you have to get rid of that bunch of boobies in some way or other. Apparently our goal is to get rid of boobies, so you decide to just use something more common like bleach. I can't use this one. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm gonna keep going. Maybe it's... Jesus. Big ol' Tonhongera Cougars. Anyways, it's been a while since anyone has written here, so I'll give you guys something to look forward to. Well, if you want to keep up with what's going on in the world, it's probably best you stay away from it all. I mean, there's an escalating war going on right now in the Cabal Home Islands. It took me completely off of my plot and has dropped me off in what seems to be a fantasy setting, because now there's Cabals and it has forgotten the Dobon Honkaros, which is why we're here. Big old Tonhongera Cougars, and the biggest one of all, a giant Honkerminoi Noyosikati. One of those. How is the AI doing? Needs more Bahonkeradus. Pretty good. Are you gonna ask me again? Still no Dobon Honkaros, but pretty good. Big ol' Tonhongera Cougars, and the biggest Dahunkaboos ever seen in a human being. So anyway, you get to class one day and see her sitting there, with head down, looking bored. You know it's her, but you can't quite place it until you overhear her talking to herself. Ooh, can't show that on YouTube. This video wants me to get demonetized. So I've typed in the copy pasta here, and then I've added her name is Uzaki at the end, just because the AI works a little bit better when it has set character names, and Uzaki seemed fitting. Big ol' Tonhongra cougars. Her name is Uzaki. My name's Uzaki. I definitely said your name was Uzaki, but we'll run with it. You and Ucha joined the various sports teams, though you're admittedly on the JV ones. Who is Ucha? Or has her name just changed to Ucha now? I think that might be it. A week passes, and you start to get hungry. Have I not eaten for a week? You open the fridge and immediately drop to your knees and start digging through the trash. I think I've become a raccoon. You pull out a frozen pizza and start scarring it with a box cutter. As you start to eat your pizza, you notice there's already some leftovers from yesterday, so I didn't have to eat the trash pizza. You give the remainder to Ucha, who happily accepts. We should do this more often. We should not do this more often. I do not want to eat trash, even with my Dobon Honkaru GF. All these stories suck. As you hit the floor, you hear a thud and the sounds of laughter. Hey, whoa, can't say that word on YouTube. Haha, we're blocking that out. I can't use this. How many times am I gonna have to retry this? This video is gonna take me forever to get out. I was so confident this was a good idea. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna shoot my... I just wanted some Dobon Honkaros. I was promised Dobon Honkaros. Wait, I've lost something. I've lost something here. This is Uzaki speaking. I'm Tom, but everyone calls me Tex. What happened to my Dobon Honkaros? Low murmuring immediately starts up from the people at the table beside you, who are in the middle of a conversation. You look over and see a group of men arguing with each other. I told you to quit wasting food. We've got starving dwarves waiting to eat here. And we're in a fantasy setting. And then I shut off the camera and started drinking. My cheery disposition fading along with the hopes that I would get a video out on time that week. That said, I did receive an answer to my initial question. Can AI Dungeon write an anime entirely on its own? No. God, no. Please subscribe, my sanity is dwindling.